Well, well, well. Here we are. Tweak this camera a little bit. I can see my latex gloves now. So I sort of changed my background. I used to have a bunch of models up here. Then I realized how small my workspace was. And I decided maybe I'd put my work stuff up here. So my models are on the other side of the room. I've got a decent amount of work to do in terms of learning how to photograph them a lot better. Positive note, I have a bunch of stuff well within reach now. Like brushes, I shouldn't have to get up and go to the other side of the room every single time I forget something for this stream, which is about 3 or 4 times per stream. So there we go. Tonight, stuff to do. Give this guy a little bit better shake. Yeah. I've got some warp lock bronzing to do on all the spikes that go around here. I already got some on myself. And these bands of metal that sort of keep the bloated body together. Gut straps, if you will. There's a little bit there too. There's probably a couple other spots I haven't seen. But then after that, it's going to be some dark washes. We get everything that is this lead belcher dunked down a decent stretch. Yeah, actually, these vents will probably be done in warp lock bronze as well. But yes, we'll do some dark washes on all the shiny metal parts because shiny's not that good for Death Guard. And then I've got this whole face area to do, and then obviously I need some amount of Agrax on the green. Then we should be in pretty good shape, and I might be able to. It's a stretch goal, but I might be able to get him on this sort of urban base because he just. Hey, what's up, Bearmore 666? Good morning. Good morning indeed. So yeah, that's what we're going with. All this stuff, and I've still got to get these bugs done, but I may save those for like absolute last. How you doing, Barrymore? It was a fairly chill day today. Stopped by my local game store. I picked up some more grass tufts because apparently I can never have enough of those. Almost played a game of Warhammer, but they were only on turn 2 when I got there, and I was like, I can't really stay that late. I did also spend some time putting that boy together and his creepy tentacle arm. So my day was pretty good. Alrighty, let's get in here and rock. This may actually be somewhat of a challenge because a lot of this bronze that I've got to paint is all over the place on this model. I'm going to run quickly out of places to handle easily, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yes, I do use a lot of warp lock bronze, and yes, I should have picked more up today. I grabbed more lead belcher. It was a little bit more urgent. Lead belcher, my other metal of choice. You know what? It's a little dark for me. Hopefully I don't blind anyone, but oop, that's a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, we are moving right along. I am continuing to read The End and the Death Part 2, and man, it is a doozy of a book. I understand the meta of why it is drawn out so much, and it's trying to, all while telling a story, kind of explain how chaos works, and it's, the end of the reign of the Emperor, so you got to kind of do it justice, but oof, it is like 86 plot lines that are all super sliced up, and because it's Warhammer, you can't really, unless you're like way better than I am. I've been paying attention for, I don't know, more than the 7 or 8 months that I've had any knowledge. It's just too many characters. I love it though. It's really good, but it's a lot picking it up, and I mainly read it right before bed. So it's heavy. You know what? Oh my god, I can reach everything. I can reach all my stuff. It's insane. Get in there and give that a scooch. I have less than fond memories of painting these under sections of these spike rows on my plague brush crawler, but I've come a ways since then, and I was slightly, I'm going to damn myself by saying it, but slightly steadier hand than I used to. I may need a tidier brush to get in here. Yeah, my tiny brush is all beat up already, so I'm okay if it needs to take one for the team here. So yeah, I did a lot of cleaning today. Also got this thing all going again. Man, do I not know what I'm doing with an airbrush. And an airbrush is absolutely the place you find out the hard way that you're not actually an artist. Because, like, yeah, it's an amazing tool and I'm getting a lot out of it. But I don't really paint. I realize the ridiculousness of me saying that. I don't formally paint. Just painting a funder program for my depression self-support group. We're planning a 24-hour overnight Warhammer stream. What? 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 That sounds like the dopest thing ever. You should promote the daylights out of that. How do that sounds awesome. And of course, if you need any help with that, you let me know. That sounds sick, dude. Tell me more. I insist. Fill up this chat with information about this. This sounds like the coolest thing ever. And there's a great, just keep in mind, there's a crazy delay before I see what you write. Man, I'm going to be really happy when this undercarriage business under these spikes is done. I know I'm going to miss some spots here. And maybe I should show the people at home what I'm doing. My hand always like works its way away from where I'm supposed to be. Complete and utter professionalism shown on this stream. Incomparable. Incomparable, I tell you. Yep. Here we go. Small self-support group in Germany. I recently joined and some other folks brought me into Warhammer. That's dope. Oh man. You ain't kidding, pal. You ain't kidding. I have some pretty amazing anxiety problems that are relatively under control. I do take medication for it, like daily. So, like when I say under control, it's like I'm not out of the woods, and I don't think I'll ever be. But I am picking up what you're putting down, and I definitely think that. I keep telling me more. I find a huge part of why I do this at the end of the day. It's funny, when I started this channel, it was just like, man, I just like spontaneously fell in love with Warhammer. And then I was like, well, I'm going to stream it. Or not stream it. I'm just going to record videos. I never thought I would actually get on a camera and paint in front of other people, like live. I was like, yeah, that's not me. But I was like, man, I love this, and I want to come out of my shell a little bit, so I'll just start recording some videos. And then I really started getting into Warhammer, like lore and stuff. I started doing lore videos, and then I finally sort of bit the bullet and started streaming, and then all of a sudden I found that like the main thing about streaming, even though I like love hanging out and meeting friends and stuff like that, is that it actually keeps me honest and keeps me painting. Um, yeah, yeah, dude, this sounds great. So, um, I I hope you don't think I'm showing feigned interest. I am genuinely, deeply interested in everything you were rapping about, um, and would be happy to hear more. Be happy to actually help out in any way that I can. Um, like for realsies, not joking. 4 weeks feels good already, doesn't it? Um, but no, like really. Actually, this is probably the easiest way for me to do it. Give me 1 second. Let me just go find this. Yeah. No, I don't mean rules. Let's see, invite people. Let's see if this works. Let me know if this thing actually works. Type this in. Actually do it over here first to make sure I don't send you a crappy link. Yeah, there we go. Boink. Boink. Um, if you want to get in touch with me through there, I am very interested in helping out. I'll just put it that way. Um, it can take a bit of time to get on the map with places like Games Workshop and Army Painter, um, but take your time with those relationships and kind of work on them. But I would be super happy to help out in whatever way I can. I don't have a crap ton of time, but I have some. Um, and your cause interests me deeply and personally. So if you get in touch with me on Discord, just kind of let me know what you're up to. See if I can get involved. So I've found that the act of painting, strangely, even in front of people now, I never thought would be the case. Um, Especially at the end of the day, like it's such a like rewarding thing. And as much as I'm not good at it, it's extremely fulfilling. And even as stressful as doing it in front of people is, it's calming in this really super weird, squirrely way. Um, and I don't know why, because like I knew that the painting itself would be, but like strangely enough, somehow doing it on the stream also like chills me out a bit as well. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. This is no rush. I just wanted to make sure I got you information while you were here. Absolutely no rush. But yeah, that sounds awesome. Um, it is something I thought about how the heck to sort of promote myself, not myself as a person, but the subject of that. Like, this has had a profound effect on me as a person and my anxiety. And I know it's that way for a lot of people, even when we make a mistake like this. And I am glad you showed up. I mean, I would have been glad you showed up anyway, but I'm showing up with dope information like that. Pretty sweet. All right, so we got those bands all the way across there. Now for the challenging part. I'm guessing I missed a lot of that metal over there. Nah, well, whatever. Look how free and easy I am. Now I gotta get these guys. These guys are no fun. It's funny, I think it was, I don't remember what night it was. It was like the night before last, but this stream had people, 4 people, including myself, 4 continents. It was dope. Small world, man. So many spikes to paint. And I really should have picked up some more warp lock bronze. Earth, gonna run thin on it. Make do. And I am excited to work on that Hellbrute. And I think I am going to try to airbrush him a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. I might try to, I think they're out here right now because I moved everything around. I might try to get a better glow effect on my Necrons first, because that's just some shiny stuff in an airbrush. MTG is no joke. Magic is no joke. It was like, for me as a game designer, I end up referencing that game all the time. I used to play a lot when I was a kid, which is a long time ago. Yes, I did the thing where I sold my cards eventually, which was a mistake. And then I had a sort of another flurry back with it a while back. And now I don't play it like crazy, but I play it every so often with my kid, which is wild. But now, my wallet can only really sustain one expensive hobby, and you're looking at it. You are looking at it. Okay. I thought I still had a booster box of Magic cards sitting up there. That would have been like pretty funny, but I moved it away. Yeah, this is the expensive hobby for now. I do dig streaming. It's like the spontaneity of it. And for me, it's just I just flip all the switches, turn everything on, and I just go sit here and paint. Yeah, no doubt. Magic the Gathering in comparison is pretty cheap. No joke. I didn't. I bought some tufts of grass today. I bought. Oh, I screwed that up again. I'm getting a little lazy or tired. I bought some tufts of grass and a few pots of paint. It was like $40 today. And I considered that leaving the store pretty responsibly. No, you're absolutely right. And if you're good at magic, like you can do it even more affordably. Now this is I'm fine with this. Like as far as midlife crisis activities go, I didn't get like spontaneously into cars or something horrifically expensive. I mean it's expensive, but I've been around long enough where I can afford it. I'm not going to break the bank. My kids will hopefully still go to college if that's what they feel like doing. Not before a few years of indentured servitude putting models together for me in my basement. They got a time to go before that. All right, as I look around this thing, I know I will have forgotten spots, but I'll get to them later. 2 more of these big rings. Plugging along. Actually, I'm going to set you down, buddy. Wash this brush a little bit. Give this brush a little rest. Have a sip of tea. Pollute my lungs a little bit. Yeah, that one. I will put in some thinner because I can. Just ease this brush up a little bit. This guy's been doing heavy duty work. Just tap him lightly in there and just watch all this bronze gunk get out. I need to start taking better care of my brushes. I'm never going to take really good care of them, but this guy will never be really in good shape. But I'm starting to find that I finally want to have a consistent tip on the end of the thing, and it's like, oh, maybe if you didn't beat the daylights out of them, they'd perform better. But for realsies, like mental health and painting models, and there's some important stuff there. There's a crazy intersection. Some more tea. Ooh, pour some more tea. There we go. Have a sip. Yeah, much as I played a lot of Magic the Gathering, I was never very good at it. I'm not actually good at most games. It's funny. Well, like, don't you make games for a living? I say, yeah, but like, I don't make them for myself. I make them for other people. And like, I'm genuinely not all that good. I'm pretty good at strategy games, but like anything that requires any speed or coordination or not getting tilted, that's not for me. I like being tilted. I do wild stuff. Like my hopes of getting into a 500-point game of Warhammer today, all I showed up with at the time was Mortarion Typhus, and like I can only fit like 10 Poxwalkers in there. I was just like, you know what? I'll just play like King Kong, just get rolled up by the most visible unit on the field. But the timing did not work out. I don't actually care that much about winning. I mean, I like to win, don't get me wrong, and I don't play easy on people, but it's very much the activity and seeing how things play out. And I do care deeply about rules. I've only played one game. It is dope, though. It is really, really cool. I had a really good time. My local game shop has a thing on Saturdays where these two guys hang out there. I think they're just like paid in store credit to just be there. And they're like, straight up nerds. And I say that in the best possible way. So it's cool for them too. But basically, if you're new, you show up and they'll teach. And it's not like a lesson sort of teaching. It's like they'll set up a 500-point game. And they have plenty of stuff. So if you just like, even if you don't have any models, if you just show up and want to proxy a bunch of stuff, they'll walk you through a 500-point game. So what we did, it was like modified rules. Only thing is mainly to learn how like the units and the turns worked and stuff. So there was like very simple objectives. It's like everybody had a home objective, and there was one in the middle of the board. We played a 4-way game, and end of every full round or turn or whichever it is, when everyone is gone. You scored 1 point for one of the outer ones, or 2 points for the one in no man's land, and it was cool. And like I could go as slow as I needed to like. I mean, these guys know how to play, so like I'm sitting there shuffling through my papers. I'm like, I'm sorry. They're like, nope, that's what we're here for. Take your time. But it's really interesting. Like, it is such a physical, and I obviously don't mean like rugby. But the fact that you're tape measuring stuff out. Hey, what's up, Maury? It really, it's a very different. I play a lot of games. It's a very different experience for me, like tape measuring and how many variables it has. It's obscene. All right. Well, tonight we're in 3 continents. We're 1 away from the record. How you doing, Dan? Did you felt like it took too many rolls? No, I didn't. It's a lot. I thought you were talking about food at first. I was like, rolls? Yeah, of course we're talking about Warhammer. Um, it's a lot of rolls, but they go quicker than you think they will. Um, and admittedly, we were playing with relatively small armies, but there were four of us, so you had to wait a while for things to get back to you. Um, I think the thing is, it's so crossways engaging. Um, it is a lot of rolls, but it's a lot of back and forth, and that's a double-edged sword. And they even the people that you know, even Games Workshop knows this. They've tried to sort of streamline that a little bit, but it's a very conversational game. It's very much I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing, you do a thing. Even though it's my turn and I'm choosing a lot, like even down to the fight phase, it's like okay, we go back and forth. Whenever I'm trying to smack you up, like you've got a lot of rolls to make to see what goes through and how it ends up. So it is a lot of rolls, but it's a lot of engaged rolls. I could see where it would be intimidating to people. It was for a long time very intimidating to me. But it did. You ever see the movie The 13th Warrior? Antonio Banderas and the Viking dudes. If you haven't seen it, basically Antonio Banderas plays, I think, like a Persian guy, and he gets sort of kidnapped by this group of Vikings, and doesn't speak their language, and they just sort of drag him along. I don't remember if he's supposed to be an ambassador or if he gets kidnapped. I think he's like an ambassador or something like that, and or maybe both. And he's like stuck with these dudes. They're all Norsemen. And he's sitting around a campfire, and they just show this sort of like passage of time of all these campfire moments. And then eventually, well, they're all talking in, whatever Scandinavian language. Um, Eventually, he's sitting around the fire one night, and like he starts to understand words just by proxy of being around these people for so long and hearing them talk. It's a really good scene, and I felt sort of like Antonio Banderas in the 13th Warrior while I was playing Warhammer. There you go for a nice long, drawn out metaphor. I didn't get it. Like turns one and two was like, what in the heck is happening? Um, but thankfully, not much does happen. I lost all my Plague Marines in turn one. So that made my idea set, my option paralysis not be a problem. Yeah. Um, oh, yeah, I just grabbed that. But then after, like, once we got to, like, turn three, I was like, felt like I could, like, meaningfully strategize. I also think it's a good environment playing like a four-way game because you get to watch what other people are doing and ask them questions about it. And it's only ever really two people engaged in any sort of back and forth die rolls. So like because two of the guys there are doing the teaching, if two people are like in an exchange doing something, you can sort of ask while they're doing it of the other fourth warrior. Like, oh, why is this? Why is that? Or you can sort of catch up on a rule. It's a good format to learn in. But yeah, it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit hefty. The other part though is that even people that really understand the game, I would say probably especially people that really understand the game, unless their head is like super huge, everyone kind of knows that not everyone knows everything. Like it's not just about core rules. Like every army is different, and so there's just like everybody does stuff that your guys can't do. It's pretty sweet. How many minis do you think you built to this day? Let's see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus maybe 6. 6 plus 30 poxwalkers. Probably like 50. Somewhere between 50 and 60. Because I got Plague Marines, I got Poxwalkers, and those come in big numbers. Yeah, a bunch of Poxwalkers. 30 of those guys. Ooh. 30. Oh, there's a little piece that I gotta get. 12 Necrons, thank you very much. 13, no. 12, 11 Necrons, because I think it's 10 comes in that box, and then I have that extra guy, Trazyn. The Goff Rocker Orc guy. My first 2 practice ones that I got from the Games Workshop store. And an Ultramarine. Yeah, the collector fellow, Trazyn. Yep, him. One Ultramarine that's actually on a stand, and then I built another one to put on Typhus's base as a sacrifice. So yeah, probably, geez, probably closer to 60. And then this guy is mostly built. This guy's going to be so dope. I cannot wait to do that. Oh, brute. Yeah, I'm a little bit addicted. I'm not going to lie to you. When I say that I see the connection between painting minis and anxiety and mental health, I'm not joking. Alrighty, we are in like Flynn. I got to poke in there a little bit. If I get this other side, we are about to go into that happy time of night. I am going to spin this thing around once. We might be switching up to washes soon. I think we are. Gotten around. Nope, here's a spot. Oh yeah, yeah. No, there's like, I've only been at this for a while, and I'm not saying that, like, if I was in college and I was doing this, like, I'd be crushing it. But I yeah, and I guess I'm just kind of making excuses. But no, I don't have 10,000 points. I'm sitting on about, I have more than 1,000 points put together and painted, um, but it's right around 1,000. A little more than that. No, I'm sorry, 2,000. Good lord. Yeah, I'm probably in the 2,000 to 3,000. Because 2 of my models combined are 1,000. My Tyrant and my Mortarion get me to 1,000 easy. All right, I think we're getting close to wash time, which is dope. So you'll notice, Dan, that my models aren't back here anymore. I am making more space. I took the desk, it was my old desk, and I'm putting my models over there now. And I know it's a little squirrely to like not have your models in the background, but it's way easier for me to just reach all this stuff and not keep walking to the other side of the flipping room. And the other side of the room, I'm setting up a photography and just lay my stuff out space. So yes, you're 100% correct. Might need a little more room. All right, so give this guy just a few seconds to breathe. I spent time cleaning today. And my compressor and all that is all hooked up under the table right now, so that a moment's notice I can just whip this thing out and be like, My compressor on? No, it's not good. Thought I left it on. There's just air pressure in there. Ah, the dulcet tones of screaming children in the background. Nothing like it. All right. I can let this guy dry and work on these guns in the meantime. And I'm gonna go back to my old buddy, Agrax Earthshade. Cheers. Look at that, man. This huge guy's got tentacles. It's a power scourge. So sick. All right. Let's get something big and beefy for this Agrax. Probably should have bought more of this too, but here's what it is. I moved my camera around a little bit and I probably shouldn't have. Or I should just move myself around a little bit. Here we go. Agrax Earthshade, do your thing. Take me out of that zone where it looks like a child made this. Get you grimy and slimy. And make all the little nooks and crannies where the paints meet up look right. There you go. Now you're a real model. Oh yeah, dude. Freaking lore. Lore is hefty. And it really has exploded like in the last decade. Like almost all this like Horus Heresy stuff is just like pretty recent. It's like 10 years old at the oldest, I think. It all was just stuff like in the rule books. I mean, the same thing happened with D&D, is that like you get stuff in rule books and then they'd like contract people to do some novels up, and then all of a sudden, boom, Forgotten Realms just like exploded. I think Games Workshop figured that out. It was like, man, you get books going, you're building like fan base for generations. Get people like me frothing at the mouth. Yeah. Yep. That is like the models. I mean, they're not cheap, but if you just got the models and glue, you got a lot further to go. Here's the thing though, like I'm pretty sure that if you get good at mixing colors, you probably just go to a craft shop and pick up some acrylic paints and get a lot done just with that. Like I buy stuff specifically for models because it's formulated for that, and like that's you start out by going into a Games Workshop and buying some toys. But I'm pretty sure I could just go into like a hobby store. The box with Primaris infiltrate. Oh, all right, R590. USD2. Yeah. Yep. That's 120 bucks. That's a lot of meals that you skip. It's it is definitely, I'm pretty sure it's more expensive for you than it is for me. That's hefty. I mean, I speak from an amazing position of privilege having waited, and I think it's probably the smartest thing I ever did, though I have regrets, and I wish I had been playing my whole adult life, if not since childhood. Um, you know, I'm 47 years old. Like, I can have an expensive hobby. Um, my children can fend for themselves. It's a tough world, but nah, it's not cheap. But there's an amazingly strong community of folks that just build proxies of stuff and 3D print things and sell things that are 3D printed at an amazing discount. Yep. Yeah, I can imagine a $4 acrylic set could be pretty rough, but at the same time, um, you're gonna look back on that mini someday and be very proud of it. Or you probably still are proud of it, but it's there are absolutely reasons why the absolute Games Workshop, you know, the Army Painter. There's a reason why those things are successful. Is like they do put their stuff together in a way that is very conducive to exactly how we use our stuff. But part of the reason I want to test out more the Army Painter paints, is because like um, they're just cheaper. The other one I want to look at a lot is AK. All my grime stuff comes from them. And AK is owned by the same, like it's not Viejo as a brand, but it's the same people. Like it's out of Spain. It's owned by whoever Viejo. Like I think the dude either bought them out or just spun up a second brand. Um, I don't know, but like it is not a coincidence. I am trying, apparently not hard enough, to get up to 10,000 subs so I can do some charity streams. That is the line you got to cross, is 10,000. I'm at 7,000 something. Um, that's my next big goal. Means I got to do a lot more lore videos, or piggyback on some short-term video game phenomenon like all the battle sim stuff that I did. All right, so you can see that's nice grimy green now. Let's see a little spot that I missed. Now we're going to switch up. Yeah, that's Agrax Earthshade for you. Now we're going to switch up to a black wash. The thing I do now with my brushes, I literally just wash them out with water and then I dab them in airbrush thinner. Yeah, absolutely. Send mad pics, dude. We pictures, pictures, pictures. I love looking at people's pictures of their stuff. It makes me so happy. I think it's one of the things that's actually so cool about this is that you are given the sort of baseline 3D shape of it, and then everybody's stuff looks different. Even people that like absolutely try to paint it like it looks on the box, they're still different. Like a piece of your personality just gets cooked into it. It's rad. And some of it is that there's just 8 million colors to choose from, and some of it is just that like you gravitate towards your own weird techniques. Shake this stuff. There we go. That's going to take quite a bit of black wash here. Alrighty, now for the grimining this all this metal stuff. Love lead belcher. It's not, I mean, it's shiny, but it's not nice guy night shiny. And then when you add black to it, it just looks like all this oil has gotten all over it. Just dripped stuff. Your cat's trying to break into my office. Sorry, gents, but it's too dangerous in here. Every once in a while, I let one in. Frankly, 2 out of 3 of my cats are actually okay in here. The super tiny kitten's okay, and Hank's okay. Hank just sits on the ground, just likes to hang. Clyde, super tiny cat, doesn't really cause too much trouble. He just freaks out a little bit. But Krobus likes every single thing that I have as a toy. Sponges, tweezers, pots of paint, anything he can get his hands on. That's the thing. It's so much stuff. It's cat toy sized. So much of it. All right, we're glopping this on heavy, but it's good times. They haven't been in here with the compressor on yet. That'll be a curiosity. I don't know how that will fly. Good question, though. Now, look at that metal. That looks like this thing's been used. Now we're under the hood of a car. Yeah, you want to get hit with that hypodermic needle? It's like the size of your wrist and covered in goop. Cats are awesome. I have 3 of them. One of them is super tiny and like maybe 9 weeks ish old. We got him under sort of sketchy means though, which I was fine with. My wife wasn't, but my wife used to be a vet tech, so she has some pretty high standards, and she had to go make the deal. But super little guy, uh, still semi under quarantine from the older cats, so all of his medicine's gone through him. But that's how it is. If you want a red cat, beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, we're a strong cat family here. You know what's up. You know what's up. And I'll do it. I'll do it. I love dry brushing. I feel like I'm good at this. It's very satisfying. A whole bunch of tension and release comes from this painting. Always start in this weird, sad, flat colored paint phase. It's still cool as all hell. But once you do washes and dry brushing, it's like, oh, this is where the magic happens. I had to train myself to just work through what feels like a very bad time when everything's flat, gnarly looking, because I know the good times are coming. Gentle and flip this guy over this way. Grab him like that, I can get this big old tank. Oh yeah, look at you. And inside, I need more of this stuff. More black wash. There we go. Get into all these like turbine fan things. Remember that I'm on a camera. Each one of those, yeah, you can see that like one still shiny one. I can fix you up proper, buddy. operating in the smog. Sweet. Any hidden parts that I've missed? I don't think so. I think I'm in pretty good shape. Let that guy breathe. Oh, I need to blackwash these guns. I should probably glue these things on. Actually, I can after this step. I think, yeah, I was mainly getting this step done. There's a thing in the way of gluing them on, so I wanted to make sure I got into all that metal. Got all that Warplock bronze in there. Oh yeah, look at that. All the lines pop out. All this glop. Some biologous putrefier spent a lot of time mixing up disgusting things to be shot out of these guns. Do that justice. Yeah, grimy, grimy, grimy. Yep, and this pipe too. Alrighty. Get this other gun. We put that guy down in a strange way that he doesn't get screwed up. Yeah, looking gross. The funny thing about paint as well in terms of the investment is that like some of it you can kind of go through a little bit quick. Some of it you'll just be like you just kind of have forever. In my case, it's mostly the bright colors that like I'm pretty sure I'm never gonna get through them because it's just like not an aesthetic that I go for myself. Yeah, it's a happy looking gun. Spewer, more so than gun. Whereas I think other people would probably be sitting on like a single pot of Mortarian grime forever. For me, it's very much pretty colors. Ah, so many spikes. All right, turn this guy this way. I think I'm gonna hit his eyes now. Weird eye sensor things, and I gotta get in there with something to get the skin around that colored up. Probably should have hit it with some white before, and there's like two little tentacle things. Let's get in there with some. I'm gonna try Reikland Flesh Shade, see how it looks as a start. That brush is okay. Just get in there. Yeah, it's gonna need something more than that. It's gonna need absolutely something more than that. But we'll just get it in there for now. Yep. I don't know why I thought that was gonna work. Just shade it. I just wanted to see how it looked at base. All right. Well, nothing like, speaking of bright colors, give this a dab. Use some Migos purple. There we go, on that tentacle. Maybe with some silver. That's still not quite enough. That contrast isn't gonna do jack. Where do we go from here? I gotta find something. Something. Just pull out my Rackard flesh in case, but I feel like I can do better than that. I feel like I can do better than that. Maybe I can't do better than that. I don't want to have to hit this with Bugman's Glow, but I might have to. Something dark and colorful. sugar. We'll see. Scooch this chair this way a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? I'd love to have one of those starter kits where you get 3 Marines and paint in one box. Yeah, they are awesome. That's actually what my my 3 Ultramarines are exactly out of one of those boxes. It's the very first absolutely terrible stream that I did. It was 1 or 2 streams. And it was me painting on a cardboard box. And all I used was household stuff and what was in that box itself. And it was a lot of fun. I have to say, it was like a crazy amount of fun. All right, let's try this. Oh yeah, that's loud. There we go. That'll be a decent base for something. That is some crazed airbrush paint, but at least it looks fleshy. I just painted the nose of that thing by accident. Yeah, it was the Infernus Marines. And you get a basing material. You get, I think you might get Agrax. You gotta find a faction with. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't mind the Ultramarines. Like, I'd never make an army of them. I will always use them as props for my Death Guard to like sort of stand over. But as I'm reading the books, like I don't mind them that much. But man, yeah, like I don't think I want to paint an entire army Smurf blue. They're just too straight laced. But I think it might come with red. Could do something. All right, so I gotta let that dry. But in the meantime, I actually like that color a lot. I mean, I'm gonna paint over it, but it's like a base for those tentacles. It's not too shabby. I need the most dangerous color, or at least up there with ultramarine blue. Mephiston red, Ronald McDonald red. Color you can't shy away from. I need a tiny, tiny brush. I shall know no fear. I will be very careful with this color. But yeah, it's a cool box. Yeah, I didn't really do that great of a job with that, but that's life. When I get around it, it'll look better. Oof, that's a little bit of extra Ronald McDonald for you. Black Templars and Emperor's Children. Both awesome. Both really interesting aesthetic with both of them. You know what? I'm gonna use more of this flesh stuff on the rest of this guy's face. These underneath bits, and I'll probably wash them different than I do the tentacles, but oh, that's a lot. Easy there, boyo. Water that down a little bit. So weird to me that I actually know what any factions beyond the Death Guard are at this point. Like, I started out and I was just like, I know Death Guard, I know nothing else. I was even struggling making battle videos calling things the wrong thing. I had to like go on, look everything up. And now that I somewhat speak the language and I've read some of the books, I'm like, wow, I'm starting to learn this stuff. I'm getting good. I won't let it go to my head. All right, so that which is fleshy around here is now fleshy, which is good. It's going to need some other color, and I'll probably go over. They're not melee only, but man, they're only melee only in the because that was the single Dawn of War model that I had for those battle videos that someone had just modded up. They're absolutely not melee only, but they do like to go off on their own and just chop stuff up. I don't think any of them are truly melee only, but in my videos you'd think that. But yeah, that model just didn't have a gun, which was good. I mean, literally, I was using Ultramarines as my range. I mean, obviously, I had like Blood Ravens in there too a little bit, and Black Templars as my melee, and got a lot done with them. Yeah, they've got like a crazy, I don't want to say suicidal, but like a thorough, like old school nobility, like go down with the ship, like Battle Brothers kind of vibe to them. Hmm. All right, well, that dries up. I'm not sure that I love it, but that's okay. I'm gonna put these guns on. If I can. How do these fit? Good look in there. It did get a little bit mangled when I was trying to put magnets in it, but yeah, I see how it works. I see how it works. See if my glue comes out of this thing. Put my guns on. There we go. We have glue. We'll travel. Do these one at a time. And I need to put a spot of glue on. Oh, that's a big spot of glue. Doink. Doink. I may have squeezed that a little bit too hard. All right, so I definitely need to hold this in place like this for a bit. I was tempted to put the flesh mower on this thing, but I think I'm actually going to buy another one of these at some point and put a flesh mower on it. The idea of getting a bunch of shots you don't have to roll for and just unloading on infantry felt pretty good. Felt like a good plan. Stick. There's a cat out there causing havoc. Place knows no peace, no rest. Kind of stuck on there. You look right. You just sit like that, buddy, and I'll prime the other one up. Oh no, don't sit like that. All right. I gotta hold it a little bit longer. I don't know why I'm so casual with not taking enough time to just hold this stuff in place. Yeah, the other faceplates, that's right. Oh, I just put my thumb in there. There's a lot of variance on this thing. They give you a lot of parts. It's so funny, like some models they give you tons of extra parts and some they don't. The Hellbrute has a bunch of extra weapons, but they absolutely made it so you cannot easily swap the weapons. It's like the shoulder piece is like the linchpin. But it's okay. And I expected this thing to have more swappable weapons, but getting in there with magnets was a pain. Oh, I saw a very short clip, and I immediately followed this person. Very short clip today on Instagram of someone who uses, and I can't believe I didn't think of this, Legos rather than magnets. All those little pieces that you can like snap in, snap out in a bunch of different sizes. Ones that you can actually spin stuff around. They had these like orc helicopter chopper things, and they weren't even built like they didn't care that they could pull the chopper blades off, but they could. They could also spin them around. I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant, brilliant. All right, I hope this thing is stuck on there. I'm putting the other one on. And that's that. Come on, glue. There we go. And a little dot over there for you too. My pretty. Hopefully I get... There's very tiny Legos out there. And I own a saw that I can chop things with. It can absolutely be done. Like even like modeling glued in, a 1x1, just little snap-a-doodle, or a 2x1 would be fine. There's the circular one, so you couldn't use it for like marine size stuff, but I could absolutely use it on like my Knight Tyrant. Pretty sure I might be able to use it on this. All right, one of these guns is much more happy to stick in than the other. It needs more time. It needs more patience. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely doable. There are ways to make it work. That's for sure. Yeah, maybe on the bigger ones. As an example, though, and clearly I've committed myself to holding this thing for a bit. Like this Hellbrute, I'm pretty sure I could make work with Legos. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's all a matter of like how much carving you need to do to get in there. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the magnets. But I feel like Legos can sort of solve a couple things that magnets can't. Oh, God, just stick. Damn it. So I think the issue here is that I've got, whenever there's paint already on it, it can be a little bit of a pain to get it to like solidly stick. It's got to melt its way through. And I'm not sure it's getting a really solid seal. I know. It must be tough to watch. Watch this. Not on there yet. So the issue is that I could probably, you know what? I can fix that. The issue is that it doesn't have a end-to-end seal on it. So I'm going to just take carefully. I think it's in here somewhere. It should be in here somewhere. Where did I put my stab yourself weapon? Yep, there it is. Yoink. Everything at my fingertips. All I gotta do is take a wee bit of the end of this off because there's paint on it. And it is preventing things from getting sticky. At least that's the theory. Sure feels like it. And then I can also just be patient and do them one at a time, but I'm pretty sure that that paint on the end there is making it so that things don't want to stick. I don't know. It's always something. Always something. I'll try not to stab myself with that. I'm sorry, Maury. I know, but I had to do it. Had to be done. All right. Who doesn't want more glue? There we go. Just the right one that goes on that side. Sure. Sure, buddy. Give you a little dip. I know. The flimsiness is real, homie. It already feels more solid. I think I am actually going to stick this guy in his base tonight. Because all this stuff under here I can get to easily. Look at that. Tempting fate by shaking him around. Got him from this angle. Looks pretty good. I am tempting fate quite a bit. The bugs I still have to paint. Face I gotta paint. Obviously that's like crazy peach colored. There we go. Remember that time I said I was going to take my time, make sure that these were stuck? Yeah, it's tough luck. There we go. You'll never learn. Oh, this really does not want to stick in the same direction. There we go. And thank you for hanging out and staying up way past my bedtime. I do love the fact that almost everyone that goes on here is on like super late. Look at that. That's not even straight. I do appreciate you hanging out, and yeah, thanks for keying me in on the stuff that you're working on. And hopefully I can get involved in some way. It does kind of look like a Metroid, doesn't it? It does. Yeah, Barrymore, thanks a bunch. Man, for these guns to sit the same way, these tubes are not going to attach the right way. All right, well, I did a poor job of putting the model together, I guess. Sorry. There we go. I'm literally just staring down it right now. You boys better not force me to use crazy glue. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely want to get involved. All right. Does that even look remotely close? God, it doesn't. I'm not sure what I did weird about this. But you know what? This Death Guard model, it's a little weird. That's fine. This is not symmetrical. Not symmetrical at all. That's life. I did have to like hack a little bit of stuff out of there when I tried to get magnets in there and did a poor job of it. And then obviously the glue didn't set the first time well. It's still not, this one is definitely not settling in there happily. Oh, yeah, it's so flimsy. Oof, buddy. Don't torture me like this. In profile. It'd be so funny if the skulls were upside down right now. It's like, oh my god, I did it upside down. I mean, it'll do, but they like genuinely do not look the same. Ah, all right. Well, that's life, I guess. I mean, these pincer things being offset, that was very much intentional. These guns being a little offset, can't really claim that that was intentional. Um, if I show it like that, that doesn't quite look straight. My camera autofocusing? Did I leave autofocus on? I might have. Not sure if that was a good idea. Well, maybe it's not bad. Maybe I finally figured out how to get it to work. So those two little tubes underneath there are offset. Looks all right. Exactly. It looks all right. It's good enough for rock and roll. It's certainly good enough for Death Guard. You got it, buddy. Of course, now I got to find out if it'll fit here. Oops. Two guns. Yeah, that happened. Well, one of these is in there tight. Oh, right? One of these is not. Oh, it's so gummy now, too. Come on, buddy. Your cousin on the other side stuck in, so I'm surprised. They were actually in there pretty good. Ah, all right. Yeah, glue check. So you know if it's sticking right. I know how to set this guy down. I don't need to set this guy down. Hold him up. I would say I can't believe that happened, but I absolutely can believe that happened. It almost happened again. I am struggling. It may just need crazy glue. Let's just lacquer the whole thing. Shaky hands, McGee. All right, I'm just gonna hold it. Just gonna hold it patiently. Oh my god, it's so flimsy. I think it's gonna need crazy glue. It's just not holding. I don't know what I did to upset the gods. But apparently, my belief that this thing would just get based tonight was wishful thinking. The thing I do need to check is whether or not these spewers will fit on here because they sort of go out the keister, like how close I need to get to these two pillars. And yeah, that's a good check. Be terrified some more. I'm gonna try to see if I can glue this thing down. That does not feel like fun. Does not feel like fun at all. If I should sand that at all. There's nothing that a pile of crazy glue can't fix, right? Is really not good places to hold this thing. Yes, you are 100% correct. It is an understatement, but at least there's like this microscopic flat spot on the ground that I can use, put some glue on, and then attach this guy to a base. Pardon my head, it's going to be in the shot for a bit, but want to take bets on whether or not my finger gets stuck here? If my finger gets stuck, I'm leaving this thing on permanently. It's so precarious. Model literally just floats on its little weird hanging cables. That's all you get. Thankfully, my next model has two big feet that go flat on a base. I know it's crazy between this and Mortarion. Like, Mortarion's just like, he's got a little bit of cloth sitting there. So scary. You know what's really crazy about Mortarion is I've got this big ass case, and he's so flippin' tall that I can only fit one other shelf in there with these tiny little guys on it. I'm gonna have to find a way to magnetize him sideways in there. My finger. Oh, my finger is stuck. Pull. Good times. Now, I will probably. That looks kind of cool. Pillars behind him help. His gun's actually resting on one. Yeah, it's alive, man. So what I may actually do is I may put a tiny bead. You can see that gun is just touching that pillar. I'm gonna wait till the gun is on there and dried and fine. But if I put a tiny little bead of crazy glue in there, at least it's got a second point of contact. All right. Sit. So I think, for safety's sake, I'm going to call it here. The things I'll do next time, or maybe time off, is finish the face up, go over that barbarian stuff with some other shades so it looks okay. I will hit the two bugs that are on the top. Like, we've officially hit that point where like too many things are precarious and wobbly on this guy. And I think I'm just gonna let him breathe. Just gonna let him sit on my desk. Sorry for the drama at the end there. But do remember that I'm old and feeble. And my dex is probably at about an 8. But it was fun. Heck of a lot of fun. I guess I'll throw this thing in here. Once again, just for folks, if you're morbidly curious, there's a very tiny Discord where we show off pictures of our work and talk about stuff. If you're a mature human being and you feel like sharing some Warhammer things or asking questions or telling me how the heck I could do my job better, please stop by and say hello. But we did it. We did it ish. Next time around will absolutely be the final steps. I'll add some more details to that base. I've got even more little bits of scrub stuff. Fix up his face. We'll do the bugs. Probably just do a couple more dabs of washes, and then this guy will be table ready to charge and melt a bunch of people. Anyway, thanks a bunch. Have a good night.